One question that I often get asked by new drivers is where to stop at an intersection with a stop sign. So do you stop just exactly where the stop sign is? Do you stop before it or after it? What if the stop sign is positioned at a place where I cannot see the road I want to turn into? Where would be the right place to stop? Now, these are all very valid questions, because if you don't stop at the correct position, if you are preparing for your road test, that might be a problem for you. And if you're already driving, you have your driver's license, stopping at the wrong position and not stopping properly can lead to accidents and maybe even fines. So in Canada here, stopping at a stop sign requires that you understand different scenarios that may occur at each intersection. Not only is it important that you understand this, you need to know that for you to be safety cautious and compliant with the regulations, the law, you ought to stop at the right position. Hey everyone, this is Alternate Route, and in this video I'm going to break down the different type of intersections that you will encounter in Canada, and I will explain how to stop appropriately so that you are not only compliant but being safety cautious. And if you are preparing for the Canada Class 5 road test, with this video you'll be able to maneuver intersections with a stop sign without any problem. And if you are new here, please do subscribe to my channel. Please, I really appreciate it if you do, and give the video a thumbs up and share it so that other people can learn from it as well. So let's dive in. We are going to be looking at different scenarios, okay, different intersections, and what can happen and how you should stop at each of these intersections. So we are using this board to try to understand the different intersections and what you need to do to be able to stop appropriately. So the first type of intersection we'll consider is an intersection with a stop line. So you're at an intersection, there is a stop sign, and also there is a stop line. So look at this intersection here, for instance. Here you will notice that there is a stop sign here. Do not mind my drawing, I'm not an artist, okay? So there's a stop sign here, and as well there is a stop line. So this is a stop line. At an intersection like this, it does not matter where the stop sign is. The most important thing is the stop line. So you want to stop just before the stop line. Okay? You do not want to climb on the stop line. You do not want to pass through the stop line before stopping. You want to stop just before the stop line. Now, you don't want to stop too far away as well, because the stop line is positioned in such a way that you can see the oncoming traffic. So if there's nothing obstructing you, you should be able to see the upcoming traffic. So it's important that at this type of intersections, you stop just before the stop line, before you proceed. So that's the first type of intersection. The second type of intersection is intersections with pedestrian crosswalk. Pedestrians crosswalk. So at some intersections, there are pedestrian crosswalk. And there are two scenarios that you will see at this type of intersections. In one scenario, you see an intersection with a stop sign. Now you have a pedestrian crosswalk, as well you have a stop line. Did you notice that? You have the pedestrian crosswalk and you have the stop line. So at this type of intersection, what you want to do is to stop just before the stop line. The stop line is positioned in such a way that you will not drive on top the crosswalk. So you ought to stop just before the stop line. Again, this is very important, because if you drive into the crosswalk, you are going to be obstructing pedestrians from crossing this road. So for instance, if you stop here and you align other traffics to go, if there is a pedestrian here, they should be able to walk across here. But if you drive into the crosswalk, then pedestrians cannot cross. So at this type of intersection, again, it does not matter where the stop sign is. The most important thing is the stop line. Stop just before the stop line. Now, at an intersection with a crosswalk, another scenario you may encounter is that there will be no stop line. So if there is no stop line, what happens? If there is no stop line, what it simply means is stop before the crosswalk. So if there is a crosswalk, but there's no stop line, stop just before the crosswalk. So it's almost like the same thing. So this time around, the crosswalk is serving as your stop line. That is what is telling you where to stop at this type of intersection. Now, the third type of intersection we want to consider is an intersection where there is no stop line and there's no crosswalk rather. So you have an intersection. So let's pick this one for example. So let's say here you have a stop sign here, right? So the stop sign is here, okay? And you are coming this way. You get here, there is no stop line, there is no crosswalk. Where do you stop? Now, this is the most challenging for many new drivers. Even some experienced drivers also struggle with this one because there's no stop line and there's no crosswalk. So where do you stop at an intersection like this? Well, the answer is simple. In fact, this is regulated. So there is a law on where to stop at an intersection with a stop sign, but there's no stop line and no crosswalk. So if you are driving in a city, if you are in a town, okay, or in a village, the law says you should stop at least 3 meters from the intersection. At least 3 meters. So this is the intersection. So you are going to measure 3 meters from the intersection and stop somewhere here. Now, I hear you, okay? The question is, what is 3 meters? How do I measure 3 meters? Well, for most small vehicles, they are about 3.5 to 4 meters long. Okay? So, what you should do is use the size of your vehicle. If you stop at a distance where what is in front of you before the crosswalk is like the size of your vehicle, a little smaller than that, you will be safe. So make sure you stop 3 meters away if you are driving in a city, a town, or a village. However, if you are in a rural area, okay, so if you are in a rural area, the law says you should stop 10 meters before the intersection. So for rural area, 10 meters before. So it is simple, guys. It does not matter where the stop sign is. What matters is what the law says in this instance. Since there's no crosswalk, no stop line, the law says if you are in a city, so urban areas, right, make sure you stop 3 meters before. And if you are in a rural area, stop 10 meters before. That clears it up, right? Now let's look at the fourth type of intersection. An intersection with a railway crossing. So, for example, in Saskatoon here, downtown, when you are crossing to a 2nd Avenue, you will notice that there is a railway crossing, right? So let's assume that you are coming this way and there is a railway crossing here, okay? What you will observe in most of these intersections is that there will be a big X on the road like this, marked on the road. Now, at this intersection, in some instances, you will also have a stop line like this. Now, if you get to this intersection, if the railway crossing lights are not flashing, that is to say, there is no indicator that the train is coming. So the railway crossing lines are not flashing, okay? But maybe there is a traffic light or there's a stop sign there. what you want to do is make sure you stop just before the stop line. However, if the railway lights are flashing, you want to stop before this big X. Now, I've seen many people make these mistakes. Now, if you are preparing for your road test, take note of this. You don't want to make this mistake. If you are doing your road test, if you see those flashing lights, those railway crossing flashing lights, make sure you stop before, just before the X. If there is no S, okay, so let's say there's no X, but there's a railway crossing and you notice that the lights are flashing. And it's also very important that as you're driving, so maybe the train has passed, okay, or maybe there's no train, but you are approaching an intersection with a railway crossing. It's very important that as you approach the intersection, slow down, look both ways, make sure the intersection is free before you drive off. I hope that is clear. So there are two scenarios you will see here, or maybe three. So you will see a scenario where there is the railway crossing sign and there is a stop line as well. So if this is the case, if there's no train coming, then stop at the stop line. If there is a train coming, which is indicated by those flashing lights, or you see the train already crossing, stop just before the X. Now, if none of these are here, and you see that there is a train passing or there's flashing light for the train, then stop. If you stop like this, you're safe. Other road users are safe. And if you are taking your road test, you'll be sure to pass this part of your road test. Let's move on now to the fifth type of intersection, which is an intersection with multiple stop signs. So like this one. So there's a stop sign here, there's a stop sign, there's a stop sign here. In fact, let's put another stop sign here. So we'll have four-way stop. This is a very popular type of intersection here. So you have a four-way stop, right? So what do you do at an intersection with multiple stop signs? Well, as we have discussed before, your stopping position will depend on if there is a stop line, there is a crosswalk, there is no crosswalk, there is a train, railway crossing. All those things we've discussed before, you will apply all of them at an intersection like this. So if there's a stop line, stop just before the stop line. If there's a crosswalk, stop just before the crosswalk. If there's a stop line and a crosswalk, stop before the stop line. If there is a railway crossing, stop before the railway crossing sign if a train is passing. If there is no train, then stop before the stop line if there is a stop line, right? But the most important thing you want to take note of here is that you have to yield the right of way to the vehicle on your right hand side if both of you arrive at the intersection at the same time. This is important, guys. If multiple vehicles arrive at an intersection with multiple stop signs at the same time, the vehicle on the right has the right of way. So let's say in this instance, let's call this one vehicle A and let's call this one vehicle B. If vehicle A and B arrive at the same time, both of them arrive at the intersection at the same time, stop at the same time, who goes first? The law requires that B goes first. So A will yield the right of way to B. It is after B has passed before A will go. This is very important to avoid collisions, accidents, and even failing your road test if you are preparing for the Canada Class 5 road test. So if this is maybe SGI road test, if this is the AMA road test, that's Alberta, Ontario Class 5 road test, whatever you are preparing for, or if you are an experienced driver driving on the road, Please take note that the vehicle on the right always have the right of way at an intersection with multiple stop signs if multiple vehicles arrive at the intersection at the same time. Moving on, the sixth type of intersection, an intersection with faulty traffic lights. So it's very rare, but it does happen. I've seen this before, where you get to an intersection with traffic lights, but the traffic lights are not working. So you likely are going to see the traffic lights flashing. In some instances, you see them flashing red. Okay, just flashing. So it's not like changing from red to amber to green, all of that, just flashing, either flashing red, flashing yellow, or something like that. Now, if you arrive at an intersection with faulty traffic lights, you should treat that kind of intersection as a four-way stop. As a what? A four-way stop. So just the way you will behave at an intersection with a four-way stop, that is how you will behave at an intersection with faulty traffic lights. What does that mean? What it means is that first thing, you must come to a complete stop. So you stop your vehicle. If the road is free, then you can proceed. And again, if there is a vehicle on your right hand side and you both arrive at the same time, that vehicle on your right hand side will have the right of way in that instance. So at an intersection with faulty traffic light, treat it as an intersection with multiple stop signs. That way, everybody is safe. Let us proceed now to the last type of intersection, the one with obstructed view. So at an intersection with obstructed view, again, well, this really is not like an intersection, like there's no type of intersection like this, right? But I've had some people ask me, say, hey, I get an intersection, there is a stop sign, there's a stop line that has stopped, but I cannot see the road I want to drive into. I cannot see the oncoming traffic. Maybe your view is obstructed by a tree, by parked vehicle, or some other thing that's happening around that intersection at that time. What do you do at such intersection? It is simple. The same things we have discussed apply. When I say the same things apply, what I mean is a stop at the stop line, or before the crosswalk, or before the railway crossing sign, whatever the situation is. But what you need to do next is the most important thing. After stopping, do not assume that the road is free and zoom off. What you need to do is inch forward slowly. So you have come to a stop here, for instance. So let's say you've come to a stop here, 3 meters away, because there's no stop sign here, no stop line. So you decided to stop 3 meters away from the intersection. But there are things here obstructing your view, so you cannot see. What do? You inch forward slowly. So you drive forward slowly until you're able to see the intersection. Now, if as you are driving forward, you notice a vehicle coming that has a right of way, okay, or you notice a pedestrian, please stop again. What do? You stop again and allow the intersection to clear before you can proceed. So it doesn't matter where the stop sign is. You still need to follow the rules we have discussed, stopping at the stop line, stopping at the crosswalk, stopping 3 meters or 10 meters away, depending on the situation. Most times, stop signs are positioned in such a way that you can see the intersection. So very likely, the stop line and the stop sign are going to be very close in most cases. But in some instances, it's not always possible to do that. Maybe the city did not see a position that is mostly appropriate for the stop sign, so they put it somewhere that people can see it. Okay, so in such situations, where you are going to stop does not matter where the stop line is. What matters is the condition of the road. So these are the different scenarios that you will encounter on the road that you need to take note of. A few things I want to emphasize, some general rules you need to take note of, especially for those who are preparing for the Canada Class 5 road test. Number one, coming to a complete stop. Now it is very, very important that you come to a complete stop. What did I say? Complete. Now, rolling stops are against the law. So if you stop your vehicle and you just roll off, right? Like you step on the brake, the vehicle stop, and you release the brake, you roll. That is a rolling stop. It's against the law. If you are taking your road test, it's an automatic failure. So that will be considered failing a stop sign, and that will make you fail the test immediately. So what you need to do is come to a complete stop, wait at least 3 seconds before you proceed. Very important. Another thing is visibility. We have talked about visibility already, but I just want to emphasize it again, that when you stop at an intersection, the fact that you have stopped does not mean that you should just drive off. Make sure you can see the intersection clearly before you proceed. Now, if you can see clearly, then inch forward slowly before you can drive off. This way you can avoid accidents and collisions. Now, number 3 is right of way. Right of way. We have talked about right of way earlier when we said the vehicle on the right have the right of way. This is very important. Take note of that if 2 or more vehicles come to a stop at the same time at an intersection with a stop sign, the vehicle on the right hand side always have the right of way. Now, it's important that you always establish your right of way. If you do not establish your right of way, that will be considered hesitation. Vehicle behind you can hit you from behind, collide, because they're expecting you to drive up and you did not drive off. And if you are taking your road test, that can also lead to you losing points if you fail to establish your right of way. However, there is a note of caution here. While you establish your right of way, please be mindful of other drivers who may ignore all the rules we have talked about. So let's assume that you are vehicle B here. You've both A and B come to a stop at the same time. In this instance, vehicle B have the right of way, so this is you. So you are expected to establish your right of way by driving before A. Now, if you attempt to drive and you see A zooming into the intersection, what do you do? Do you insist and say, oh, this is my right of way, I must take it? No. Be cautious, okay? Allow them go. The law will take care of them, okay? That is what it means to be a defensive driver. Your ability to anticipate and control what really happens with your vehicle and other road users. So it's very important that we take note of these as well. So guys, there you have it, how to stop at an intersection with a stop sign. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. In fact, I know you will like it, so give the video a thumbs up. And please do subscribe to my channel, share my videos. I want more people to see these videos, and it really helps me a lot if you are doing that. It encourages me to create more videos like this. And if you have not watched my video where I explained this right of way deeply in details, please check the description in this video. You'll see the link to that video, and please go ahead and watch that video. You take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.